Hey folks, this is Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and we haven't looked at a fixed blade in a long time. This is the Real Steel Bushcraft Zenith. This knife was manufactured and is still available in two styles. This is the Scandi grind style, and they've got it in a full flat grind as well. In some countries, those two different styles of edge are two different prices, like especially in Germany or in the UK, the price difference is dramatic. 79 pounds for the Scandi, I think it's 112 pounds for the full flat grind. And that's the cheapest prices I could find. At least the 79 pounds was the cheapest price. I've got links down below for the UK, for Germany on Amazon. You've got this guy at a decent price, and Canadian and American prices as well. White Mountain knives, and it's listed there at $95.20 US, which is the same price that it's listed everywhere, but save 10%, and now it's 86 point something US dollars for this knife. They do not have the full flat grind. They only have got the Scandi, which is why I've got this. I've also got Amazon links down below. So, but if you want the Scandi and you're in North America, the lowest price you're going to get is White Mountain knives. And if you're Canadian, go ahead and order fixed blades from White Mountain Knives. Zero risk. You will get it. No problem. Well, unless, it gets stolen. I mean, zero risk from Canadian Customs taking the knife. Even the full flat grind. A fixed blade knife, totally legal in Canada, unless they're the kind that's designed to be hidden inside, like a belt buckle or, other kinds of hidden inside something kind of knives. Those, it depends. But we're talking about this knife. 14C28N Sandvik steel, and that's what we're looking at, a fixed blade with a sheath. So if you're interested, stay tuned. The full review's coming to you right now. So here we go. Here's the knife on the tabletop. Let's take a look at the sheath first. I like knives that have this kind of loop here. If it's going to be a man-made sheath system, I like this seat belt webbing. I looked it up. There's no, at least I couldn't find a distinct name for this type of material. They just call it seat belt webbing, made out of polyester and or nylon, or both polyester and nylon. So very strong. It'll fit in a lot of different belts. It's very wide hole here, easily to hang. It's a little bit like a dangle sheath. And then you've got this clip here, and this is, I don't know what kind of grade, but I think this is some kind of leather. It might be a man-made synthetic material, but you got a snap. You've also got this Kydex sheath, and this is where the belt is, a loop here is mounted on. And yeah, I'll show this first. The knife clicks in right there. So you've got the retention from that clip, and very little shake, just moves a tiny bit. And then you also have this snap adding retention as well, and then the belt loop, so it hangs very, very well. I do wish that, there you go, you can see it in the light this way, that this space here wasn't that big. I think I'm going to heat this up a little bit and make it, flatten it out a little bit. It'll hang a little bit lower, which I like, not too much lower, so that this will be just a little bit higher, but not so high that it's a bad thing. Then that'll be closer, so it'll sit a little closer to the waist as well. And I'll probably take pictures of that change once I've got that done. You can also take this off completely, and using these holes here, well, I was off screen, sorry about that. You could take this off completely, and using these holes here, you could use like a tech lock type system, or a lot of different other type systems that you could use to mount the holder, mount the main sheath, and use a different style here. I really like that they gave this option right here. It's a very good choice, in my opinion. The Kydex is very close to proper dimensions and everything, holds well, and they put a drain hole right down there. So if you are out in the rain and water gets in there, it's going to leak out through there. Of course, when you get to your destination, take it out and dry off your knife. Now you can, of course, get the full flat grind. I got the Scandi here. The Scandi's got, the full thickness of the blade all the way until you get to this main Scandi bevel. And then you've got a micro bevel right at the edge. Now the micro bevel on this knife is very, very small, and so I couldn't measure it, but the main bevel here, I got a measurement for that. The full flat grind is the same basic shape and everything, and except for it's a full flat grind instead of a short Scandi bevel. You've got jimping on the spine here, and it comes in a little bit first. A nice stylistic thing. You've got good grip with that jimping on your thumb. It's designed by Ostap Hell, as it says right there. Ostap Hell design. And he likes to put this little divot kind of thing somewhere on the spine of his blade. And there it is right there. And there's a little bit of a cutaway here. It's a little bit of a thumb rest area to start with. And my thumb actually likes, it uses that little spot for added grip. Or you can sneak up and grip it there. Reverse grip, very comfortable. A reverse pull grip, very comfortable. This handle is excellent. Adults with small size hands might find this grip a little bit too big, but the rest of you should find this quite comfortable. You've got a nice rounded spine that helps fit in the palm of the hand right there. And I like these 3 steps right here. Let's move a little closer to see that. So right there, you can see the 3 steps. You've got your first choil right here, and then it's like another one here, sort of, but it's flat. And then your other fingers go back there. It makes for a really good grip in the hand. Solid, solid grip. You've got T8 screws here so that you can take the knife apart if you want to, no problem. At the very back here, you've got the lanyard hole option. You can put paracord through there, no problem. And it's a good way to tie off a lanyard. Doesn't add bulk, and it comes out the back of the handle. I really like that an awful lot. This knife, even if it is the Scandi, is still designed in such a way that it can be used for piercing if you need to. You've got a rounded spine here. There is no edge here except for the cutting edge. That's good for striking a ferro rod, unless you strike it inside this sharpener's choil. Now that might be part of the reason why the sharpener's choil is made the way it is. But I was wondering though, with this sharpener's choil, why it comes off on such an angle. If you just had a little bit of a hole here, you could have more cutting edge closer to there. But I'm sure Ostap's got a reason for that style there and have contacted him. Hopefully I'll have his answer in the text on the screen about why it's like this. It might be to do with having less things being able to get caught in there. You know, sometimes if you got a sharpener's choil that's too deep, a little branch or something can get caught in there or something else. And this has a bigger opening, easier to pull it out. Could be for that reason, I don't know. Real Steel's got their logo on the side of the blade here, and on this side it says 14C28N right there, and on the spine it says Ostap Hell Design, and that's all the writing. I like that the writing's small and discreet and out of the way. And of course, it's a full tang blade here. Let's talk about some of the specs, information, details that way. The steel here, like I said, 14C28N, that can have a Rockwell between 55 and 62. Love Them Knives and his friends have been testing a lot of steels. They have tested 2 knives from Real Steel that uses 14C28N, and both of those were 56.5 and 56.6 on the Rockwell scale. So a little bit on the softer end of the Rockwell scale for this steel, but that also makes it a whole lot tougher as well. So I think it's a really good Rockwell hardness for this knife, for this Scandi. This is a really good outdoorsman's knife. You can do an awful lot of hard work with this and not ruin this blade. It's just very, very functional, very strong. The dimensions here are just for the Scandi. The full flat grind is going to be very similar. The handle will be identical, but I don't know how long the cutting edge, if that's the same or not on the full flat. This guy, the cutting edge here, 10.32 centimeters, 4.06 inches. The blade length, so tip to the closest spot on the handle, 11.05 centimeters, 4.35 inches. The thickness of the blade, well, you get a lot of the thickness of blade right here, 4.48 millimeters, which is 0.1765 thousandths of an inch. That's a bit more than 5/32 thick. So it's a good sturdy blade. The blade depth, that's this dimension, 2.66 centimeters, 1.05 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, well, there's no such thing on this Scandi grind with this micro bevel. There's no way to measure that really. The grind angle, well, I can't measure the grind angle of the micro bevel, but the main Scandi bevel, that's this main section here, that's about a centimeter thick this way, that is 13.5 degrees per side, which is pretty good. The Mora knives are 12 degrees per side on their main Scandi bevel here. That equals 24 degrees inclusive. These ones being 13.5 means that it's 27 degrees inclusive. That's an extra 3.3 degrees, no, 3 degrees wider than the Mora knives. The reason the Mora knives have to have a micro bevel is, at 24 degrees per side, it would come down to, a 12 degree per side tip. And that just makes it too susceptible to damage. This guy being 27 degrees, it still is quite susceptible to damage. And that's why it's, the manufacturer puts a micro bevel on it. I did a video recently on how to sharpen Scandi grinds. And I mentioned there that I'd probably sharpen it and then use it until it's dull and then put the micro bevel on. I did find in my own practice, and some people commented that that initial edge, if you don't put a micro bevel on, will get deteriorated on the edge fairly easily since it is only 27 degrees inclusive. And most knives, the outside that you use for wooden things, are more like 40 degrees, so another 13 degrees inclusive greater angle to make a more durable edge. So that's just information for you guys. Let's continue on with the dimensions. The handle now. The handle length, this G10 section, 11.68 centimeters, 4.6 inches. The handle thickness, 1.56 centimeters, which is 0.614 of an inch. So good thickness right here, a little bit thicker than most folding pocket knives, but most fixed blades are a bit thicker. The handle depth, that's this dimension, and the biggest spot is right here where the third step starts. 3.03 centimeters, 1.19 inches, so a little bit less here and even less here. And now for the grip area. The grip area between here, it's about 10 centimeters, about 4 inches. Total length of this knife from tip to the very end of the handle, 22.8 centimeters, 8.98 centimeters, so, inches, so 9 inches basically. You've got, 4-inch cutting edge and 5 inches, 4.5-inch handle. And then you got that fudge area in between where here's no handle plus no cutting edge. So very, very close to half and half. The test, when I did measure this, and I did measure it shortly after I got it, the sharpness behind the grind, the sharpness of the edge from the factory, 140 best, 140. That's very, very good for a brand new knife. And, a lot of people think Scandis can't get super sharp. Well, yes, they can. So very, very good knife in a lot of different ways. How much does it weigh? 202 grams, 7.15 ounces. This is 65 grams, 2.3 ounces. Together, it's 268 grams, 9.4 ounces. For a full tang, thick bladed knife, that's not bad at all. How much does it cost? Well, I already told you some prices. At White Mountain Knives, $95.20, take off 10% with coupon code CCE, and now it's $85.68. So under $86, not bad at all for that price. For what you get, that price is great. Most places will sell this at $95.20 in the United States. I did find in Canada, Warriors and Wonders has it for $124.99 plus shipping. Amazon.ca is $125.66. The store in the UK that's got the really good price is tacticalknives.co.uk, £79 for the Scandi. Without the Scandi grind, it is, I think, £102 for the full flat ground. Germany's got this one, Amazon.de, for 88.26 euros for the Scandi grind. I didn't see the full flat grind there. So that's enough for all that stuff. Overall feelings and feedback and points. Very comfortable handle. Very, very good for a lot of hard work. The balance point is perfect, exactly where I want it to be. On a knife like this, you just, right there, perfect balance point. The sheath is very strong, very durable. I like that it's got snap retention, and then you've got snaps here as well. And this is the perfect dangle kind of system. I do like leather sheaths as well, but if you're going to get man-made, this is very, very good in my opinion. This is a good, well-rounded knife. I like it an awful lot. It's a great outdoorsman's knife. In fact, if you get this and the full flat grind, you've got the perfect combination, two knives for camping, bushcraft, food prep. You can do all three of those things with those two knives. Survival, anything you want to get done. If you had the full flat and the Scandi, you can do everything. Of course, you get an axe or a saw to cut down trees and things. That's not what this size fixed blade is for. But the Scandi grind is great for batoning, and it's a good knife. I'm not showing any batoning. I'm not showing any outdoor work in this video for one reason. I'm still sick. I am very weak. You could see me batoning and it would look like this knife is doing a terrible job, and it's all because, I've had this intestinal or digestive system disease for 9 months now, I think it is. It's actually closer to a year and a half since it really started. And I just don't have the strength to be, batoning through wood and stuff to show you, but the knife can easily do that. It's a very, very good design, strong, and very good to use. You want to see what it looks like with the handle scales taken off? Well, here's a picture of that. So what do you think of this knife? Too expensive? I think I'm going to be keeping this knife for myself. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.